Hello. I do believe that we are live. Okay. Hi everyone. We're still waiting for our guests right now. Um, I don't are our guests on? I'm waiting for an okay. Hello, Caleb. Okay, we're getting our guests here. Oh my god.
How's it going?
Hello. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you were on. Hi. It's nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too. I feel like we've like interacted a lot on like Twitter, so it's like good to like finally like one on one like meet each other. So good to
Yes.
meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. Um, sorry, I didn't realize we were going live. I look up and all of a sudden I'm like, three, two, one, okay, let's go. You know those days when you just like don't sleep well and you're just like, everything is a slow day. So that's me right now. But it's
Quite
so nice
familiar.
to meet you here. And for those who are tuning in, hi, welcome to Insecurity We Trust. This is your host, Allie. You could find me online everywhere at Ending with Allie. And today we have Caleb here. Caleb, if you want to introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi everybody. My name is Caleb. I've worked in cybersecurity for a couple of years now. I started a YouTube channel called Studio Sec. It's got all kinds of cybersecurity stuff in there, from like Security Plus stuff. Now I'm doing like a lot of news and other topics and stuff. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah. So you've been in the security space for a while. Like, let's talk about how did you get started in it? What's your journey like?
Yeah, so it kind of started young. My dad is a professor. He teaches in cybersecurity. So he kind of like got the gears spinning a little bit. And I thought, okay, this is interesting. I guess if I'm gonna have to work, then I'll I'll work in cybersecurity because that sounds fun. And so that's kind of the direction I ended up going in for like the technical path. And so I went to school for cybersecurity. Went to school up in school in New York for that, and then graduated in 2020, and yeah, been kind of working in the field since. So it's been fun. It's been an experience. I learn more every day, and yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's eye opening.
So like cybersecurity like runs in your blood.
Yeah, I
And
guess.
teaching
Yeah,
runs in your blood.
yeah. I guess you could say it's yeah. It's been yeah. I mean, because I'm 26, so it's like I still feel like I'm a baby, frankly.
But
But
like
it's
you
like
you know, you grew up in like a cybersecurity like household, like with a strong
yeah,
security mindset. Your dad taught
yeah.
security.
Yeah, I think that's something that like I still kind of like try to wrap my brain around, is like I've been around the field for a while, like longer than like I think I've been around the field, for sure.
You know, I've been having that experience recently too when I was like looking at I was on TikTok or something and someone was like, "Oh, you were a sellout for going into ComSci." And I was like, "Wait, I have this photo from when I was like a kid." And I wrote like this like thing that was like, "When I grow up, I want to do computer engineering because it like my dad does computer engineering and I want to be good at computers." And this from like April of 2001. And I was like, "Was I or did I just do the thing that I said I was going to do?" You know?
Yeah, it sneaks up on you, right?
It does.
It's
And
like you
then you
don't even
realize,
intend for it to happen, and then it's like, oh crap. I think my
yeah,
mom said something like she was like, "Oh, I knew you were going to be a teacher," and then I did my YouTube channel, but like I didn't tell anybody for like many months. And then like whenever I finally started like I guess being like public about it, my mom like sent me a text and was like, "Told you," and I was like, "Come on, come on."
oh my god, the "I
Yeah,
told you so" moment. Every mom
yeah,
has their "I told you so" moment.
uh,
Um,
yeah.
so let's talk about this, like, YouTube content that you create because you've been, like you churn out videos. So, like, what was the original inspiration behind doing it? And, like, what were some of the things that you found super rewarding from it?
Yeah, so the like so I love the way you phrase that question, original inspiration, because that's definitely evolved as time has gone on. Uh, the past 2 years, I think for everybody, has been a long 2 years,
Yeah.
and certainly no different with like making content and working in the industry and stuff like that. Originally, the inspiration was I had taken my Security Plus in like February of 2020, and by like August, like I'd been working for a few months, and I was like, if I quiz myself on Security Plus stuff, I'm probably not gonna pass, frankly, because I just wasn't doing like I wasn't, I guess, like reviewing the raw content. And so I wanted to stay fresh on the fundamentals, but also like teach other people the things that I'd known or learned along the way. Uh, and so I started, making videos about it. And it also, I thought, would be a fun way to learn more about the industry and learn new things. I'm kind of like a visual learner. So video appeals to me a lot more than like a blog. And so that's kind of like the medium that I wanted to go for. And then, like, as time has gone on, talking about like the rewarding end of it. Well, one, I get to meet awesome people like you, like Parker, like Tish, and many, many other people through that. I had like a podcast there for a little bit called the Cyber Monday Show. It's been a few months since I've done episodes of that for a while, but um, getting to meet people, getting to learn a lot more about the industry has been just a blast. But also just making videos. I feel like that was kind of like a dormant passion that I didn't really, I guess, explore or allow myself to explore until I started making YouTube videos and I started like studying like, the nitty gritty like science of YouTube and science of like making a video, making a good video, and like editing a good video. Um, Turns out I really enjoy that. It's a lot of fun
Yeah,
for me. So it's just kind of
it's
fun to
very
like go
methodical.
from like a mental image in my head to like watching a video and knowing that I put it together. That's just kind of fun. So yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of mental images in your head, have you ever like done the Apple test to see how strong your like mental images? I'm just super curious because you said that
Oh
where
no,
it's
that
like
sounds interesting.
if you imagine an apple, what do you see? If I tell you to like think of an apple, what do you see?
I mean, definitely an apple.
But is it like fuzzy? Do you see it? Like describe it.
Probably like kind of like a generic like clip art picture, like a white background, shiny red apple. Like it sounds like such a cliche, but like it's like a generic like I don't know. I don't know what else. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's just an interesting test for this thing called aphantasia where you like don't see you don't
Interesting.
have a mind's eye. It's very interesting. Sorry, I don't know why I thought of that. But speaking of content creation and YouTube videos, I'm super curious like coming from a like having a father who teaches and wanting to do teaching yourself, do you ever like collaborate with your dad on videos? I know that sounds so weird, but have you ever been like, "Dad, hello?"
I did once. Like within the first year, I was like, "Oh yeah, can I interview you?" Because it's fun. Because he'll like do like pen testing on the side and stuff. I mean, like really really smart. So I wanted to like learn and like kind of get his thoughts on stuff. So I definitely did, and I have not since. It's just been busy. But not that I wouldn't again. But it just time flies and things. So yeah.
Yeah, and, taking a step back and just thinking about more about, like, your journey in cybersecurity, so you said you graduated in 2020, like, what have you been up to? Like, what's your full-time job looking like?
Yeah, so let's see here. I started at like a nonprofit doing like really like big picture, high level IT and cybersecurity stuff with them, and that was a blast because I think that's where I learned that I love like governance, risk, and compliance. But I don't think at the time I could put a name. I could put my finger on it because like that's really a lot of what I was doing. And then I moved over to a fintech company where I worked on their cybersecurity engineering team, and then I bounced their detection staff, and that was fun. Got to learn a lot of like the ground level nitty gritty stuff, and that was cool. And then now I work at like a consulting government contractor, doing more kind of ground level stuff with them too. So I've definitely bounced around a few places in a very short amount of time, but I've been able to learn a lot, and I've been able to kind of see the industry from, I like to say, like three different perspectives. From the nonprofit, like really small, like I think that it had like 25 employees, and then like the medium size, like fintech, to like now like the large, I guess, contractor that is also with the government. So three very unique takes on security, but also three unique mission sets that require different approaches. Um, that's been really interesting. It's very interesting and it's fun.
No, I totally get it, and having such a diverse, like, experience set ki and being so soon out of school, like, how have you, like, figured out that that is, How have you figured out where your passions really lie there?
Honestly, I think I'm still trying to figure it out, and I feel like that's kind of where I am right now. Is trying to figure it out. I thought I wanted to do penetration testing, so that's really what like, and it's kind of weird. I hate to like reference my YouTube channel, but like I feel like you can actually kind of like see my progression with what I'm putting out. I put out like some like offensive security stuff because I thought that that's what I wanted to do, and then I was like, okay, I don't necessarily want to do that. And then I started putting out like risk and like threat intelligence stuff because like now I think that's kind of where I want to go. So it's either between that or like GRC and like management. I just think that
Yeah.
I don't know. My brain seems to work way better whenever it comes to high level or strategic conversations versus like really down to earth technical conversations. I don't know why that is, but yeah, I just feel like it's just easy to pick that up and run.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I think actually we have our second host about to jump in if we want to get them added right now. If we take 2 seconds. Hello, Tish.
Hi. I gotta do a quick mic check. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, we
there's
can hear you
nothing
just
coming on
fine.
my end
Welcome.
as usual. There's always an issue with Tish. I apologize.
Yeah, welcome to the chat. We were just talking about
All right, you
finding
gotta give
your
me one
niche.
second. I cannot hear anything on my end. I'm good at reading lips, so I know you're hearing me. 1 second. Let me try to remediate this. Oh dear.
That's a good cybersecurity word to remediate.
Remediate, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about this. I don't know.
Oh, good.
Oh, we're gonna lose Tish for a second. Okay. So apologies about that for those who are watching live. You know, we're working on the fly, and it being Cybersecurity Month, actually. Great segue. Let's go. It being Cybersecurity Month, what are some of the things that you're doing to help raise awareness both across your YouTube channels and just your standing as well as at your job? Like, what are some of the things that you've been thinking about?
Yeah, I mean, definitely try to hit the fundamentals more. And I feel like with the Lapsus saga, and we actually got kind of a good reminder with like the Uber hack and the Rockstar hack that
Lapsus saga?
yeah. So I guess I can kind of back up. Like there's like a threat group of like basically like just teenagers that
Oh
cause like
yeah, I didn't realize that was the name for
no, well, I call it the Lapsus saga just because it's like I don't know. That's my brain's like categorization of like all those events that happen. But like they weren't doing like super advanced techniques to attack their targets. They were doing like very like basic like with Uber they were doing multi-factor authentication spam, and that's how they got initial access. Like really like basic things to be able to breach like some really large organizations. So I think for me for this month, it's kind of like focusing on the fundamentals, just trying to take a step back, recognizing that you know the advanced solutions can be a good thing and certainly are a good thing. But if we only focus on those and we abandon fundamentals, then it really doesn't matter how advanced we're getting. We're still going to get got. So you know, kind of taking a step back, peeling the layers back a little bit, and hitting kind of those basic level things, that can really make a huge difference. And then that really makes those advanced solutions even more effective. It's more of like a comprehensive approach to security than just kind of like, you know, focusing on like the cool, flashy, expensive things.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really interesting because it was such not rudimentary, but people don't realize that those basic skills everyone still needs to pick up on a regular basis, and those are like the most vulnerable. So now we have Tish here. Hello, Tish. Can you hear us? Oh, I think you're muted. Yeah, you're muted. Okay, it's fine. As we continue to debug this, apologies again for everyone watching.
Maybe
It's
she's been
okay.
hacked.
Oh my god, that'd be so funny. So let's take a step back. Sorry, we're all over the place here, but I really want to talk more about just how has being brought up in a cybersecurity focused household like really affected your work and has given you confidence in your work? I would love to hear you talk about that. Is that something that you've ever thought about for yourself, or is that just something that it comes almost second nature to you, right?
I mean, honestly, I didn't really think too much about it growing up because, I mean, like my dad would like talk to me about cybersecurity just like as like a career interest, but it wasn't like like a hard and fast rule that like, he wasn't like checking to make sure MFA was enabled. You know what I mean? Which maybe I shouldn't share that publicly, but I think for me it was kind of a good thing just to kind of like have that interest, I guess, and kind of recognize that like uh, there were multiple things that I could do. For me, it was either going to be like, if it wasn't going to be cybersecurity, then it was probably going to be like political science. But with like cybersecurity, you can kind of do some of the political science stuff, but with cybersecurity, it's just so broad. I think that's kind of like the main thing is it's uh, like growing up, being able to combine all the different interests that I have with cybersecurity and kind of seeing all the different touch points that has, around the industry. So
Yeah. And I'm super curious, something that you said there about like different touch points of cybersecurity, also having a really wide breadth of experiences coming from different, having the chance to experience different roles. What are some of the most unique cybersecurity focused roles you've heard of?
the unique cybersecurity rules.
Roles,
Mm.
like jobs that work in
Oh,
cybersecurity,
God.
but aren't they aren't pen tester, or they aren't like um security engineer. Like, what are some of the unique like roles that you've heard of?
Yeah, cybersecurity journalist. I think that one really that one caught my eye because like I don't know, journalism was another thing that I was like kind of interested in. So like cybersecurity journalist kind of had me like really looking at the job bio. Um, I don't know. The industry is so big. There's like like you said like pen tester, security engineer, GRC analyst, threat intelligence analyst. There's so many things to do, but also outside of like a security operations center, like in a company that has maybe it's covering events that are going on in cybersecurity. Even like sales. I didn't even like look at sales, but that is like a huge section of the industry that a lot of people have found a lot of success in as well. That I think a lot of people would really actually enjoy. So it's huge. I'm learning, and honestly, I'm learning so many more of these roles every day. So I'm sure there's so many that are like really really cool that I'm not mentioning right now.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that like I had a pretty cool role working at a cybersecurity company, but doing developer relations and like, talking to engineers about why they need to focus on security. But um let's jump back into like your YouTube creation process. What steps when it comes up to creating a YouTube video, like what kind of steps do you take to map out the work that you're doing for people who are interested in that sort of aspect?
Yeah, like from a scripting side.
Yeah, scripting, studying, teaching perspective.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it definitely depends on like the kind of video I'm making. So if it's like teaching, I mean, either way, I'm doing like some research at the front end just to make sure that I'm not like teaching something that's wrong. And I feel like I'm probably most anxious on that because I just know that there's probably something I'm going to miss. So, but like trying to I guess write down as much as I possibly can for the script. Um, and then I think, and this is honestly kind of going through a bit of a change right now because I'm learning that storytelling can make teaching so much more effective. And that's been not, I want to say that that's been a weak point, but that hasn't been a point of focus for me up to this point. And so I'm trying to be better with, I guess, telling a story around a concept or an event that people can relate to and be interested in, and that will like hold their attention, and also see that this is all relevant, and that it's a lot of this is theory, but it has real world like ground level implications that they can really walk away with. And like an example is like let's say like the Lockheed Martin like cyber kill chain, like mapping out like how a cyber attack happens. Um, and I think that I probably did not do a good. This might be a terrible example or a good example, depending on how you look at it. I don't think I did a good job of storytelling in that video, but walking through, maybe in a future video, I guess, like walking through the cyber kill chain of an actual attack, and mapping the specific moments of the attack to whatever link in the kill chain, things like that. So I think that's kind of like my workflow right now is trying to come up with a good story that is relevant and can teach the concept.
Yeah. We're going to try one more time. Hello, Tish. Can you hear us?
Tell me you can hear me now.
Yay.
Welcome.
Okay,
For
good.
everyone who's here, this is my co-host, Tish.
Hi,
Tish.
everybody. So nice to be here. It's amazing to finally interview you, Caleb. I have about 15 pages worth of questions.
Oh no.
I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
Addie seemed to cover most of them, though. I just wanted to touch on what you were just saying in terms of like storytelling. Have you thought about teaching? Where is teaching a thing, like a futuristic idea of yours, or do you just want to leave it as those informational videos that you post that everybody absolutely needs in life? But would you venture into teaching? Because I think you'd be an excellent teacher. I learned so much from your videos already.
Are you gonna take over your dad's post?
And that's funny because we were talking about that earlier. Like my mom was saying that I would end up being a teacher, and I said no, I will not. I don't know. I feel like YouTube's kind of like a fun way to do that. I don't know. Thing is, I don't want to grade papers. I just don't want to grade papers. I don't want to grade a final. Like finals and midterms sounds exhausting. That is kind of like another benefit of like my dad being a professor, is I can see kind of like the back end of what professors have to go through. And it's tough. It's a lot of stuff that they're going through. So I don't think, YouTube, I can kind of like, I can keep it like a little thing over here. I can teach a concept, but I also don't have to like grade papers. So that's nice.
I mean, that's why you have that's why you have the TAs. They upgrade the papers.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. This is true. But if they don't give you a TA, then you're holding the bag.
Wait, this is news to me.
There's ways to navigate around that. Take me for example. I love hosting. I hate editing. You cannot pay me to edit, but there's people to do that for you. You can outsource that. There's Parker. Parker does all the editing for me. Shout out to Parker.
Wait, they don't give TAs to what?
No, I don't know if they don't give TAs to people, but I don't know. It is a good question.
I don't know. At my school, they always gave TAs, and they were like, "You need graders, we'll give you graders." I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that would be nice. That would be
or
nice. They probably do.
Workshops.
Yeah, you could do workshops.
Yeah, you can.
That's true.
Somebody just posted.
From a host, if you ever want to do a workshop with us, you could.
Think alike.
Have you had the opportunity to like take your conversations in your YouTube to go to conferences and actually host workshops at conferences? Let's talk about that. How did you convert those opportunities into this YouTube into opportunities?
To be honest, not yet. Let's see. I mean, like COVID was kind of like the first half of it, so there wasn't really a lot of travel. I've got some other side stuff going on that has me traveling for that, and so a lot of my travel has been for that. And then whatever time I have left, I mean, like I still have my wife, so and I need to make sure that I still have my wife. So I feel like I would love to go to a conference at some point. I definitely do get some FOMO whenever I'm not at a conference and I'm like seeing like Twitter with all the people at a conference. But it's definitely like one of those things that, it's, that's kind of the bummer at like starting in your career is you may not have like a ton of, at least this is just for me. I mean, it might not be everybody's experiences, but for me, like, I don't necessarily like have a ton of time and I also don't have a ton of like money to travel with. So it's kind of like that perfect storm where unfortunately I can't go to as many conferences that I'd like to go, but hopefully one day or in the near future I can make that happen.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Have you
Um,
all been to any conferences at all lately?
I'm going to KubeCon.
Nice.
Ah, genius. My next up on the list for me, I wanted to do B-sides in Orlando, but I'm not. Work didn't want to fund it for me. But they did say, hey, if you see anything in around the tri-state that you want to go to, we'll expense it for you. And I discovered there's such a thing as Elasticon, like Elastic. They have a con. I was just like, okay, I'll go. I'll see what's up with Elasticon, which is scheduled to take place in New York, like for 2 days around November 2nd and 3rd or something like that.
Nice.
But I'm definitely like a conference junkie. If there's a conference, I want to go. I feel like I learned so much about the industry. Um, and there's also that little bit of swag that you come home with, which is like a nice little parting gift. So definitely whenever there's a conference, I am absolutely trying to go.
Yeah. Let's jump a little bit more into like cybersecurity. And I don't know, Tish, if you've had any questions. I feel like I've asked so many questions and I've been like driving this conversation. And I know that you jumped in, but let's see. Do you have any questions that you want to ask?
And no, I'll flow with you. Go ahead.
No. Okay. So let's talk about, sorry about this. So let's just talk about, I guess I'm super curious to hear more about just like how you balance things. Like cybersecurity and security is a job that takes up a lot of time in your day to day. I'm super curious to hear how you find your balance in your day to day.
Poorly. Very bad.
Nice.
Yeah, I had the big brain idea of starting a YouTube channel that talks about cybersecurity when my 9 to 5 is cybersecurity. So it's a lot of time spent. It's a lot of time thinking about this stuff, and I'm still trying to figure that part out. Very much so. I think that the video, like, I don't know, the video creation part of it, I feel like is different enough that it does kind of feel like it's a shift in pace, where like I'm not necessarily, like I'm thinking about the cybersecurity stuff for like script writing, but past that, it's like just making the video and trying to make it like a good video. And that's like a whole different, I guess, science, which is kind of fun to engage with. Yeah, I mean, during the football season, there's the Chiefs, which is fun, but summertime, spring, it's just a desert. It's pain. So I gotta figure that out.
What I really want to know is what's your hack, or how do you get word or wind of the news before everybody else does? Because 99% of the time, I get my info from you, and I'm just wondering, like, where are your antennas? Like, you have some, you have a personal contract with NASA, or you got satellites in the air. How do you get it so fast? Because the minute it drops,
It's really
or
easy to know when.
you've made a video already. You didn't post it on Twitter. You've made the video and it's out. And CNN and Hacker News and everybody's just now posting it. So, what's the secret, Caleb?
It's easy to do it whenever your source is the hacker. I'm just kidding. No, I feel like Kevin Beaumont.
Did it here first.
Definitely don't. FBI, please. No, definitely no. But I feel like for real though, like Kevin Beaumont is like a phenomenal place to check, and really InfoSec Twitter, because they are on top of it. If something is breaking, then like InfoSec Twitter will talk about it and they will like go into depth. So like if you remember like Log4j, that was probably a high for InfoSec Twitter because people were dissecting details about the vulnerability, talking about how organizations can remediate the vulnerability, and then just kind of like trying to dissect and understand and conceptualize the scope of the vulnerability. And that was, I mean, really like within a day, like the same day that the news was breaking that the vulnerability existed. And so whenever making a video for like that, for example, it's really easy to write that script really quickly and collect a lot of information and make a video for it because everybody's just tossing that information for free on Twitter, which is like absolutely one of the strengths of InfoSec Twitter. There's a lot of drawbacks, but I think that the open, free, and rapid information sharing that this industry has on social media is an undeniable strength. And I've really enjoyed that.
Are you conscious about fact checking? Or
Yes.
do you okay?
Yeah, big time, big time, big time. I know that like a couple of times I've definitely like missed some things.
I've seen those, and you've
Yeah,
redacted and you've corrected, and I commend you for that. That's really admirable.
yeah. And I still feel bad about it because it's like, oh man, like if I got it right the first time, then my worst fear is that I become like one of those people that's like, I guess like unknowingly pushing out like fake news. Like I
Right.
want to make sure that if I'm making a video, then the information's accurate. I don't want people to, I don't really want to like engage in like fear mongering because this industry has a ton of that. And it's easy for that to become a real problem just because this information is really gated in a lot of technical nomenclature that like your average person that's not in the field really won't
Right.
be able to engage with. And so that's really where I'm trying to like get it right is getting the information that's correct to report on it, but also communicating it in an accurate way. Because that can also be a friction point that I might struggle with. Is like I might have true information, but the way that I guess like will explain it, maybe I'll make an analogy that's not an entirely correct analogy, and that's just kind of one of those things that I try to be careful about. Not I don't bat 1,000, but I do try to rectify it after the fact.
So I've noticed, and I absolutely appreciate the way that your content is translated because, and I still refer to myself as a newbie for somebody that's new in the industry or just generally have like a little bit of an interest. It really is in the most simplified way ever. Is this intentional, or what was the motivation behind it? Do you what's your target audience?
You know, that last question is a phenomenal question. That is a great question. Honestly, I feel like I'm explaining things the way that I understand it. So, like, I need things to
You're
be
new
like
too.
simplified.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, I needed to be like simplified, like really, really basic as well. Like I mentioned earlier that like the technical stuff, I feel like I have a harder time wrapping my brain around some of that than probably some other people that love the technical stuff. I'm more of like a strategic, like big picture kind of guy that I
Mhm.
can like pick up and run with quick. So, you know, I feel like if I can understand something enough that I could explain it to myself, then that's probably clear. Hopefully, fingers crossed. As far as my target audience goes, that's also kind of changed. I was originally trying to make videos for people interested in getting into the industry.
Mhm.
I've made a lot of videos to do that. And I think at this point, because those videos are already out, I'm kind of switching to people that are just interested about the industry, um, that just need the information, but they may not necessarily want to like get a job, but also small business leaders. That was like that last group is a group that I really wanted to make videos for whenever I started the channel. I don't think I knew enough at the moment to accurately make videos for them, but I'm trying to get better at that and make some content for people that have small businesses, whether it's just themselves or they only have a couple employees, because they probably can't really afford good cybersecurity services themselves. So if they could get it for free on YouTube, that's pretty rad. So
Ali, did you realize that he just went back and said the same thing that he said he didn't want to do, which is teaching? Did you realize that? You caught that loop?
Yeah.
I do.
Whether you like it or not, it's still
Teaching
there.
comes in many different forms.
There we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I do this all the time. I do this all the time where I'm like, oh, like for instance, like I want to live somewhere where the overhead's pretty low and I can save a lot of money. And then I live in like the third most expensive housing market in the country. Like I just do contradictory stuff. I don't know how to explain it.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm equally the same way. So, yeah. I mean, Tish, do you have any last questions or things that you want to ask about. Um,
So, I don't know if you guys spoke about this before. Caleb has a beautiful, beautiful wife. And one of her passions is traveling. And I wanted to ask, how do you balance like her love of traveling? Because I know you travel as well. How does that mesh with cybersecurity, with work-life balance, with your, you just switched into another, not another career, but another new job. She just switched into a new job. How is that all coming together for you guys? And where's the traveling? Because I know there's blogs, and I haven't seen much activity. So when is all the travel blogs and all that fun stuff coming back?
Well, I'll let her know that she's got at least one person ready for her to drop another video, because she would actually probably like hearing that. So, I appreciate it, but I don't. Unfortunately, like I'll travel for like some like the work stuff I have going on, kind of like not like fun travel. Unfortunately, she gets a lot more of that, especially now with her job. We traveled to Portugal over the summer. That was like our delayed honeymoon. That was lovely. Um, the unfortunate thing that I've kind of run into with like balancing like travel with career is that so far for me with the places that I've worked, I can't like work abroad. So, and because of like limited PTO,
Oh, okay.
you know, yeah, so I really end up spending like a lot of time at home because that's where I'm working. For Quinn though, she's able to travel a lot, and I like seeing her happy, and she loves to travel. So it's like, cool, yeah, get out of here, go somewhere cool, and let me know how it goes. So yeah, as long as like things are safe, as long as things are safe. So
Awesome. Anything else from you, Ali?
no, but I should ask, and I always ask this. Caleb, do you have any closing remarks or advice that you'd love to give people? Um, and where can people find you?
oh yeah, you know, man, I don't have any closing remarks to be honest. You can find me on like Twitter and YouTube. Twitter at Sec Studio. It's down there on the bottom of the screen, and then YouTube Studio Sec. Uh, I'll probably just close with like, focus on the fundamentals. The technical stuff is always going to be there, but make sure that the fundamentals are down. Um, there's like for anybody watching that enjoys like sports, I feel like that's like my favorite analogy. So I'll notice teams that like struggle a lot will always say, we got to go back to the fundamentals, and then they'll
Right.
start winning games again. And I feel like that's kind of where we are as an industry is we're losing some games, and we got to kind of slow down, focus on the fundamentals, and then we'll start winning some games again. And it's those basic things, like having MFA enabled, but not, falling victim to MFA spam. Being aware of social engineering, being aware of phishing links and phishing attacks and stuff like that. And we have all month to be able to, you know, raise alarms and talk about all this stuff. So, and I appreciate both of you for having me on this podcast. This podcast is phenomenal. You're both doing great work with this. So, I definitely appreciate the work that you're both doing. And I think you guys are making a huge and awesome impact on this industry.
Oh,
Thank
thank you
you.
so
Oh my
much.
God. I'm gonna cry. That
No,
was so
I
sweet.
I want to end on a high note, and if you would indulge me, Caleb, I want to do 3 speed round questions with you.
All
Let me
right,
know when
let's
you're
go for
ready.
it.
All right, they're really simple. Mac or Windows,
Mac.
in office or remote,
Sorry. Oh,
in
remote.
office
Oh,
or
yeah.
remote.
Remote all day.
um, and like my most controversial one ever, Elon or Trump.
Elon? Hey, Elon will get me to Mars. Okay, I'm ready to go. Let's get out of here.
That works too.
Self-landing rocket is cool. I mean,
I like
it
his
is what it is.
ideas.
He's cringe on
There,
Twitter. It
there,
is what
it's,
it is.
I mean, I want to get to the future. If somebody's getting me there and somebody wants us to get there fast, whilst I'm still alive and I have, viable
I want to
body
hear.
energy. I'm ready for
oh,
it. Let's do it. Let's go.
I want to hear both of your answers to those 3 questions. So here, I'm going to do that. I'll do that real quick. What was the first one? Mac or Windows?
Mac.
Mac.
Okay, good answer. In office or remote?
Remote.
Yes.
Oh, yes for remote.
No. I said yes.
Okay, cool, sweet. And then Elon or Trump?
Oh, that's it. We're out of time. Thank you so much.
It's not even a question, Elon.
Let's go to the moon. Thank you so much, Caleb. This was so much fun. I enjoyed it so much.
That was fun. Thank you so
Ali,
much.
are you recovered yet? Your facial
No, I'm
expressions
not.
look killing me.
Okay. At least I get Bezos versus Elon, you know?
I think that would be kind of a fun one. But I also, you know what? Okay, let's do that one. Bezos or Elon? Go for that one.
I would say Bezos. He keeps his head down. He's got a lot of guts. He keeps his head down. He works hard. He's just like, I'm gonna be smart about it. And you know what? He only speaks up when he really has to. And he's just like, I'm not saying he's better, but you know, he just keeps his head down.
I'm not gonna respond. I didn't get my package delivered today, so
Honestly, period.
I'm a little incensed about that.
Well, I think that we can wrap up this live stream here. To everyone who tuned in, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming by and hanging out with us. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks. Bye.